And between what his look signaled and the tone of his voice when he shouted my name, my first thought was, brace yourself. This might get ugly. You know, we make decisions about people sometimes way faster than we realize. They could be their look, their tone, their body language. It's real easy to write the third act of the story before the first act has even had a chance to begin. And most of the time we don't question those assumptions. I mean, hell, those instincts can sometimes protect us, even keep us alive. But other times we can be so far off the mark that we have to take a big step back and reconsider exactly what it is we thought and why. For me, one of those moments happened years back when I was on tour with my band. I'd been on a set break and I was walking up the stairs on the side of the stage to get back to work, and somebody shouted my name loudly. And it wasn't even so much somebody calling out to me as it was a bark. So I turned around, glanced up, and I saw a man covered head to toe in tattoos. And even in the dim lights of the club, I could see 2 teardrops going down one eye, ink across his shaven head. And this guy was a big son of a buck. I mean, I'm 6 foot, $190, 200 on a bad day. And he was a larger man than me by a real stretch. And between what his look signaled and the tone of his voice when he shouted my name, my first thought was, brace yourself. This might get ugly. I didn't say anything. I just looked up at him and nodded my head. And then he shouted over the house music, I need to tell you something. And he gestured towards the steps where I'd been standing, over there on the side of the stage, as though he wanted to come over and speak with me. Now, to be honest, I had no idea who this fellow was or what he wanted. I had never seen him before in my life. He was a complete stranger to me. So all I said was, what's up, man? Curiously, trying to see if he would state his piece from over there. But he raised his hand again and gestured towards the stairs, letting me know that he wanted to come essentially into my space to talk. And that's when I got a bit uneasy. I mean, had I said something on stage that rubbed him poorly? Was he looking to confront me about something? Was he just unstable enough to come get up in my face in front of 300 plus people that had all come into that club to hear me sing that evening? Stranger things have happened, especially in that game. I looked him in the eyes for a cold, hard second and decided to take a chance. And I gestured for him to come meet me over at the side of the stage, which he did. And all I remember is trying my best to brace myself for whatever it was that was coming, without looking particularly defensive or unsure. He walked up to me and he said, you don't know me, but there's something I need to tell you, something I need to say to you. Okay. He pursed his lips in real tight and took a deep breath. And he said, I just got done spending almost 10 years in prison. I'm sorry, I said. And I'm still watching him real closely. And he said, I heard about you when I was down, when my girl left me. I froze. And the reason for that is the last thing in the world I wanted was for this guy's former partner to be some mega fan of my music and for him to think, while he was at the lowest point of his life, that I might have had anything to do with her leaving him. Which that thought legitimately crossed my mind. Again, stranger things have happened in the music game. But he continued. My life was in a world of shit. My mom died while I was down, and I wasn't able to go to her funeral. Then my girl leaves me, takes my son out of state, changes their names. Never so much as sent me a Hershey bar, he says. And then he pauses and says, that's when I heard about you. Of course, I still didn't know what was coming. It didn't look good either way. I didn't know what to say. I remember half stumbling around my tongue trying to find the right words. I said, man, listen, I'm real sorry, but I'm not sure what any of this has to do with me. And he just glared at me intensely. It has everything to do with you. So my stomach dropped. I said, I'm not following you, friend. He said, there I was, having lost my mother, my girl, my son, all back to back. And then one day I opened up this catalog of CDs that they had offered us in pre-release. And that's when I heard your song, Stripped to the Root, and it became my anthem. He said, brother, that song hit me like a Mack truck. Made me realize I ain't the only man that's lost everything and had to rebuild and recalibrate. And there's two things I need to give you. I nodded. He said, the first is a thank you. And the second, and that's when he paused, and he looked down at the floor for about 2-3 seconds. I said, the second is what? His eyes come back up to me, and he was fighting tears. He said, I know you don't know me, but I want to give you the most grateful handshake a man's ever offered you. And his hand came out. So I took it firmly. And then without even thinking about it, I hugged that man like he was my family, my own brother. I remember standing there for a second or two after that, just kind of taking the whole thing in. Because just a few moments earlier, I had already decided in my mind what this guy might be about and how this exchange might go. And I'd been completely off the mark. Now, don't get me wrong, that same instinct could have very well protected me if that man had meant me harm. Those instincts have their place. But I didn't see what was actually there. And that's something I'll never forget. A lot of people measure success in the music industry by stuff. Accolades, awards, acceptance, photo shoots, people patting you on the back, all that mess. But I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, if I had the choice between a mansion and a Grammy Award versus that encounter, that trophy's an overpriced paperweight. Because I'm not exceptional. I'm one grain of sand in a very large beach. And if a song that I wrote in the lowest moment of my life helped to lift somebody up during theirs, put a price tag on that. You can't. That's the payoff. That's why I've done it. I think I got so used to having to protect my neck on the road that I forgot something highly important. And that's sometimes people love you for real reasons. They might be strangers to you, but you might already be family to them. And sometimes you can't see it coming. You can't see them coming. I never saw that man again, but I hope that he's doing better and that his life is filled with meaning and love. And I really hope he's in the best place imaginable. That moment reminded me of just how easy it is to think that we're reading somebody accurately when we don't know the first thing about them, and we certainly don't know what they've been through or what they're carrying in their hearts. And the truth is, you don't have to write music or have a life anything like mine to experience that. You can affect somebody at your job, in your family, in your community. Somebody you meet for 5 minutes in line waiting to pay for your gas. Your little grain of sand can touch a lot of others, whether you even know it or not. Have you ever had a moment that you thought was going to go southward, only to turn into a moment of real connection? I'd honestly love to hear about it. I do always appreciate your stories in the comment section. If you've enjoyed this, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more. I will be back in a matter of days, God willing. And with that said, I will catch you on the next one. Y'all be well.